Hey, we've got another segment here with Father McMahon. Thank you for joining me, Father.
It's my pleasure, as usual.
We're going to be talking about the Schlarman Rivalry today. Schlarman coming up on Friday the 19th. Father, why don't you tell us a little bit about our only Catholic rivals in Vermilion County?
Vermilion County, Schlarman High School, Bishop Schlarman High School is the local high school, as you mentioned, in Vermilion County. And as in many Catholic diocesan areas, you would have a number of small elementary schools feeding in. It's similar or analogous to La Salette. It's obviously a bigger geographical area. We have a large number of the Society Elementary Schools, Society of St. Pius X elementary schools throughout the country, and they feed into the La Salette Academy. It's similar there. So playing the local Catholic rivals was something we really wanted to do. Initially, when my father helped get the basketball program off the ground the first year, that was one of the schools that he contacted. And the athletic director at the time was very helpful, helping us out, even to the extent of offering to let us use their football field for rugby matches. They had a full schedule that first year, 2005, 2006, and we couldn't get on them in a varsity game. But we were so desperate for games and the level of play was so poor that we decided we would play their JV team. We played them twice, home and away, and lost both games by over 20 points. We did, though, improve over the years, and unfortunately for them, there's kind of been an inverse movement. They have gotten pretty poor. So now, the last 3 years we play them, we finally play them now in varsity games, and we have beaten them by, I think the lowest margin was 19. This year, you never want to say before a game, because you have to respect your opponent, but the outcome should be similar given the outcomes of a number of their games so far with common opponents. There's also it's a nominal connection here at La Salette. When the La Salette missionary fathers ran owned the property and were here as a minor seminary and novitiate for brothers, the current St. Anthony's Hall was named after Bishop Schlarman. So it was Schlarman Hall. Previous to being named after our secondary patron, St. Anthony.
That's definitely an interesting connection right there. Another connection between the two schools is Coach Spezia.
Well, before even that, no, there's another connection. I was just thinking about Schlarman. As the La Salette fathers, they had here a boys' boarding school. It was a Catholic, at that time a minor seminary, so it was high school boys. I think their senior year they actually wore the cassock in function of potentially going on to the major seminary. But in they ran from 1942 to 1972 for 30 years. But in 1969 they stopped teaching the boys' classes here. So they lived here as a boarding school, but they went to Schlarman High School for their classes from 1969 to 1972. Coach Spezia coached here in 2009, 2010 for 1 year. He's a local legend. Coach John Spezia, he's in the Illinois Hall of Fame. He's been the president of the National Junior College Basketball Association. He coached at Danville Area Community College for over 20 years, won the national championship, Division II Junior College National Championship in 1991, I believe. He stopped coaching for a while, been out in Arizona, came back. And after I had coached for 3 years and was prematurely approaching my death due to the stress of doing such a thing, Coach Spezia providentially happened to come visit the place, and we got him to coach. So we coached for a year. It was a very good team. Some of our better. It was the best, the best prehistoric La Salette team before we've gotten actually decent in the last few years for a number of reasons. But so after coaching us, he then moved on to Milford. Coached there, and then he's now coaching at Schlarman. So we faced off. This will be our 4th time we've played Schlarman. We've played in the last 3 years, and we've been fortunate enough to beat them those 3 years. And the last 2 years, Coach Spezia has been their coach. So it's been an added pleasure to give the legend Spezia spanking on the last 2 times that we've played Schlarman.
Now, the reason that we are playing a lot of these local teams, at least in part, other than their geographic closeness, is an interest in the Vermilion County Conference for La Salette. Is that correct?
It would be. We would really like to get in. The Vermilion Valley County Conference is basically Route 1, State Route 1, from Crisman, the most southern team on Route 1, all the way up to Milford, which is the most northern team. I believe they have 9 or 10 teams in the conference. We've played all of them except for, over the course of the years, we've played all of them at one time or another, except for Salt Fork and Bismarck. So the rest we have played. Some are quite local, like Georgetown, Westville, Crisman. Some are a little farther, like Milford. We played Hoopston this year for the first time, which could become, could develop into a nice rivalry there. But that's because mainly this is the first year we've been fully recognized by the Illinois High School Association, which allows us now to compete against any of the teams in the association. And also we can get into a conference. We can play in tournaments. We played in the Thanksgiving tournament, came in second, unfortunately, and then we played in the Watseka Holiday tournament, and we won that. So being a full member now, we can play. We're still limited, and we have to wait about the boarding school situation, whether we can play in the end of the year tournaments, but we're hoping to resolve that maybe even this summer. So for maybe in the future, we'll be able to compete for regional, sectional, and miraculously maybe even a state championship at some point like we do for rugby.
Well, that would be absolutely fantastic. I know our fans would love to see that. We have plenty more videos coming up soon with Father McMahon about the February Frenzy and other exciting things on our calendar. But thank you for joining me today, and we'll talk to you again soon.